Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin. So I wanted to do a quick video on the first tank fill-up fuel economy. What did I get on the first tank? The tank that was given to me by the dealer. Probably technically I paid for somehow in the cost of the car, but you know, this truck is not going to be known for fuel economy, but I imagine there's probably people out there that are considering the ZR2 over something like the Trail Boss or the Z71 or even the LT or the work truck and the newer Chevy Colorados, and just kind of wondering how much of a hit do you take if you get the ZR2. Certainly if you get the new Bison or if you got the Desert Boss in the 2023, which I think both roll on the 35-inch tires. And even I know for a fact that the Bison has an extra 1.5 to 2 inches above the 3-inch lift that's already on the ZR2. The Desert Boss is a little bit lower, but I think that comes equipped with an air dam. Basically what I'm trying to say is this is not the most fuel efficient option that you can go with on the Chevy Colorado, but what you're giving up in fuel efficiency, you're gaining in off-road capability and also looks. As I mentioned many times before, that's the main reason I bought this over any of the other trims, even though the other trims are a little bit cheaper, but also there's some creature comforts that come in here. So let's see how, let me turn this around and I'll kind of show you before I fill up, and then we'll do reset the trip history and everything. So let me just flop this around. So if you'll see here, trip number 2 is since I've picked it up from the dealer. I reset this right before I left the dealership upon picking up and taking delivery of the truck, and I've averaged on the trip computer 15.1 miles over the 254.7 miles. Trip 1 is since the life of the truck, since 0 miles. And obviously that's going to be skewed lower because usually the first few miles of the truck, you know, I think when I first picked it up, it was like averaging, this said like 6 miles per gallon or something like that. Obviously you can see there's 54 miles left. That actually, before I pulled into the dealer or pulled into the gas station, said 48, and it fluctuates quite a bit on this, as I think they often do, because it's constantly recalculating. Let's go over to the actual menu over here where you can see a little bit more information. So I moved this vehicle status over here because I knew I was going to be accessing it a lot, because you can move these around by just kind of dragging or holding on it and kind of moving it around, but I'll keep that there. So you'll see under here, I went into trip on the top here because there's different, you know, tires and brakes and blah, blah, blah. The trip here shows trip 1 and trip 2, as you see, and if you click on it further, you can go and reset. I'll hold off on resetting that until I've filled up. But if you go over to here, there's another information here that shows you fuel economy, and the best that I've gotten is 18.8. I imagine that's some sort of tailwind highway run that I did, because I think this gets a little bit better fuel economy when you're running it on the highway, no more than like 65-ish. And let's see if we change the distance here. Best 25 miles, because I haven't gotten to 450 yet, because I've only got 266 on the odometer. So yeah, it's a little bit better with a shorter trip, so it might have been a shorter stretch on the thruway or something like that. But let's move that back to 50. Once I get over 450 miles on the truck, it'll be interesting to see what that one shows. I'd say initially, and I've heard some people say once these engines break in, they become a little bit more fuel efficient, and granted, that's relative to certain vehicles. I mean, it's relative for a truck. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I can say that if you are going to anticipate getting what is on the window sticker, I'm getting slightly below what's on the window sticker, you're going to be filling up this truck every 250-ish miles or so. And that's even cutting it close there, because I'm on low fuel, 57 miles to fill up. Yeah, I would have a little bit ways to go, and they err on the side of caution and alerting you early of low fuel. But I also understand it's probably not the best to always let your fuel run down super, super low. Something with sensors in the tank or something. I don't know. Someone at one point in time commented on one of my videos to not let the gas run down, and I'm just believing maybe that one comment, so that could be complete bullshit. Anyway, let's fill up the truck. We'll see what the hand calculation is, if it differs from 15.1, and I'll give you a little recap of the first tank fuel economy. I'll be right back. All right, so we filled up. It was 17.111 gallons, as you saw, at 333 and 0.9 cents per gallon for 87 octane, for a total of 57.13. I hand calculated and it came out to around 14.8. I'll put the number on the screen that it exactly came up with here, which, as you can see, is as usual, the trip computers like to lie and make you feel better about yourself. So not the best fuel economy for the first tank, but maybe it'll get better, maybe it won't. It's been mostly in the 30s when I've been using the truck, and I've been in 4 auto a little bit, but for the most part, 85% of the time I was with or driving in 2-wheel drive, about half highway, half city, so kind of a mix. Let's reset the trip here just so we can get that going. So I like to keep trip 1 as the lifetime fuel economy, and trip 2 we're going to reset, and there we go. We'll see what the second tank brings us. I'm also going to track my mileage in Fuelie as well too, just to keep a more concrete spot to look at it, so I can see the average and everything, because before I was just doing a note in my iPhone, and yeah, I'd have to add them up every time and calculate the average. So hopefully the Fuelie app will make it easier on me to track this, and I'm just doing this out of curiosity's sake. Like I said, I did not buy this truck because of the fuel economy. I bought it for so many other reasons. And if you're thinking about buying this truck and you're nervous about fuel economy, as I mentioned in my last video, just don't buy the truck. Buy a Colorado, but don't buy the ZR2 that is lifted 3 inches from the factory. Maybe a good compromise would be the Trail Boss, if you can get if you can be okay with some of the lack of creature comforts. For example, I don't think you can option dual zone climate on the Trail Boss. You can option the adaptive cruise and everything, and cruise control if you want to, but you can't get a heated steering wheel or heated seats. You can't get leather seats. It's got to be cloth seats. If you can do without all those things, then I think the Trail Boss is probably the better buy, even though it comes with the halogen light bulbs, because those are fairly easy to upgrade and fairly inexpensive to upgrade. And I've seen some videos of people online who have replaced those, both the high and the low beams and the turning signals, and there's some pretty cool aftermarket options for those on there as well too, some of which the turning signals, there's the 2-phase turning signals that will actually run as a daytime running light, and then when you actuate the blinker, the turning signal, they turn into yellow, amber, or whatever that color is for the turning signal. So those are kind of neat, and they work on the Trail Boss. I think that I eventually will probably upgrade my halogen turning signals with LEDs, and maybe some of my taillights with LEDs, but it's not a priority for me right now. I certainly don't think I'm going to bother inside the cabin. You know, these lights that are halogen up here, it doesn't bother me all that much right now, and I'd rather save the money and not have to spend any extra on anything right now that is just like, I don't know, easy and simple like that. So anyway, that's basically the first tank fuel economy. If you guys have any questions, put those down in the comments. If you want to make fun of me, put those down in the comments, because like I said, I bought this truck because it looks good, not because I'm going to be some off-road monster. Although I have been looking at some local trails in my area, so I'm hoping that some upcoming videos I can do some very, very light, dip the toes in the water off-roading. I'm sure most of you will laugh at me when you see some of the trails I'm considering going on, but I spent a lot of money on this truck, and like a lot of people, when you first get something, a brand new pair of shoes or something like that, you try everything you can to not get that first scuff or scratch on there, and certainly a new truck is way more expensive than a new pair of sneakers, so I'd rather go a very long time without getting any sort of major damage or something that's going to annoy me having a scratch or pinstripe on the side of my car, because I decided to get a little bit adventurous with a $48,000 truck. Anyway, that's all I've got for you this week. I will see you guys in the next video next week.